Hi, in this video I will tell you how much does it cost to edit your Zoom call recording into a professional, good-looking video ready to be posted online. A simple answer to that question, it will cost somewhat in between $10 and $200 US. For $10, you can have your video cut at the beginning and at the end, assuming you provide time codes for those cuts. Maybe there is a possibility to adjust audio levels for each speaker with no rounds of revisions. That's it. For up to $200 US, you can have the whole thing edited in a fancy way. There are a number of items that could be included. Let me list them quickly. So first, you can add your outro and intro speech along with bumper and end screens. Then, what else on my list? Yeah, color grading, of course. Then you can get custom branding according to your guidelines and color combination or whatever. Audio cleanup, whatever that means, I'll explain later. The video could be made more dynamic in terms of switching the cameras in between the speakers, and in case you really need that, adding closed captions. Different freelancers have different hourly rates. I will list all of the items again. I will explain what each of them mean and how much time does it usually take me to work on those. And you can use them as a basis for calculating the price. If you want to know my hourly rate, feel free to check it in the description to this video. But in case you decide hiring someone else, obviously feel free to use these estimates for your calculation, whomever you hire. In case you have any questions or clarifications, or maybe someone gave you an estimate which is way less or way more than what I gave you, feel free to write comments below. I would be happy to comment on that. Your Zoom call recording is basically the main part of the video. That's the main content which people are after and which your target audience is going to watch. But there are some other extras. Some of them I mentioned previously, and let me start explaining those extras first. Intro and outro speech. What could you say in an intro speech? You can say hi and give people a reason to watch this video in the first place. What this video going to be about. And better make this intro speech less than 60 seconds. That would be my advice. In the outro speech, you can say some call to action at the end and put together a summary of what this video was about. Feel free to use your phone to shoot both of those outro and intro speeches. You don't have to shoot it in the same location where a Zoom call took place. You can shoot it anywhere else and just get it done and send me the files. Editing those will take me up to 1 hour of my time. Why does it take so long to edit those? Well, the thing is, the files you send, they have to be color graded. There probably will be a few unsuccessful takes, maybe I'll have to combine them, there will be some cutting involved. So on average, it takes up to 1 hour. Again, depending on the public speaking skills, sometimes could take less or more, but I'm giving you sort of average estimate. Now, bumper. This is the thing which is usually put in between intro speech and main part of the video. Usually it is a nicely designed logo animation. You've probably seen it many times on other YouTube and Instagram videos. In order to create it, I usually use some pre-animated logo templates, and customizing it, including a few rounds of revisions, usually take 2-3 hours of my time. But the best part, you only need to create it once, and then you will be able to reuse it in any of the video content you created online. Let's speak about the main part of the video, which is your Zoom call. Let's assume that your Zoom call is going to last for half an hour. I'll give you my quotes based on that. If your Zoom call lasts for 1 hour or 90 minutes, probably you should multiply the estimates I'm giving you accordingly. Let's talk about color grading. This is quite simple thing which usually takes roughly 10 minutes. The thing is, your participants may have different quality of their cameras and, more importantly, different lighting. Adjusting those and leveling them all up to relatively the same level is something which is important to do, and fortunately it's quite simple and easy in the majority of cases. Now, fancy words. Branding. Let's have a look how your video may look before and after. Here are some more examples of how branding could be executed. In order to understand what I may need from you to pull this branding thing together, please have a look at another video of mine regarding the files I need from you to get started in the description below. Also, in the same description below, you can find the list what I need from you just in text as bullet points. This part of video post-production process usually takes me 2 or 3 hours. The half of that time is basically back and forth communication and rounds of revisions. One more thing which I should mention about overall branding process would be lower thirds, which is basically names and titles of the speakers. Adding those and having them animated beautifully usually takes up to maximum half an hour. Now we are almost done with the visual part. Let's talk about audio. What is audio cleanup? You may have lots of dead spaces in the videos, those endless apologies for the connection issues, being late, whatever, some slip of a tongue, any of the other scratch words. All of that could be beautifully cleaned up so that the speech sounds smooth and nice. Obviously, the time it takes to work on those depends on the level of public speaking skills of all of the speakers in the video. If we are talking about half an hour Zoom call, then this process may take either a few minutes or up to 3 hours. But there is another approach to handle this within maximum 30 minutes is to clean up only the first 5 minutes. Basically, if people watch your video for the first 5 minutes, chances are they are going to finish the whole thing up to the very end are very high. So you should worry only about first 5 or 10 or 15 minutes of the video. Going back to the visual parts, once the audio is cleaned up, there are ways of making the video more dynamic. What do I mean by that? I mean, how do we switch cameras in between speakers? So I can use the consolidated view of all the speakers, showing them all at the same time, and I can use some of the speaker full screen or maybe a few speakers on the screen. There are different ways to combine those and work with those. This part usually takes 60 to 90 minutes for a half an hour Zoom call recording. Now, some final touches. There are all sorts of reasons why you may want to have subtitles or closed captions in your video. I can basically provide you with a text file which you upload on YouTube when you upload the video, which will enable viewers to turn subtitles on and off. The other way to play with this, I can add those subtitles or closed captions and I can embed them into the video. There are many online tools powered by AI for generating subtitles or closed captions automatically. Obviously, I use them to generate subtitles, and the most time-consuming part is basically proofread them. You can cut the cost a lot of this particular stage by proofreading them yourself. Then basically what happens is that you get the text file from me, you upload it to YouTube video, and you proofread it right there. If I handle the proofreading with my best friend called Grammarly Premium, then obviously it's going to take way more time. So if you handle it yourself, it will take me to generate those automatically and send you the file, maximum half an hour for your half an hour long video. If I handle it myself, it's going to take up to 6 hours of my time for every 30 minutes of your Zoom call recording. Why? Because auto-generated subs don't understand allocation of the pauses, and there are many other hidden tricks which people take for granted, but which take time to make it happen at the Netflix level. Basically, those are all of the costs. Now, there is a hidden cost which you sometimes may face and which you should definitely ask your video editor about. It's rendering time. I personally have it organized in a particular way so that I can afford not to charge my clients for any rendering time, and they pay only for the time I spend doing the actual editing. But if your editor is charging for that, you better ask how much, because it depends on a PC. Sometimes a half a minute video could take minutes to render on some very fast computer, and on very slow computer, a half a minute video could take hour, 2 hours. And that's like what? For a video editor having a dinner while the computer is simply rendering. So you better worry about that thing ahead of time. Another thing you should know about is that having a sales call is free of charge. It's completely okay to jump on a call with a video editor like me and maybe ask them for some of the tips or advice or questions you have before you even have any Zoom call. Or maybe you already have your Zoom call recording in place, and again, it's okay to follow up on the call and just double check what you have already, what are you going to provide, and which services from the ones I've listed you really need. Usually after having a sales call and after I get all the files from a customer, I edit a very short sample, something like a few minutes or 5 or 10 minutes, whatever. I edit that short sample for a customer to see how final video may look like. The customer can see the design sample if needed, how the audio cleaned up, how video is adjusted, and etc. You will be able to make comments with time codes in the easy-to-use software regarding the changes you want to make in the sample. And basically the sample is used as the main reference of how final video should look like. Once all feedback is done, once we agree on all of the things, only then the contract is usually sealed and you start paying for the services received. This was Eugene, your video editor. If you have any questions or inquiries, please feel free to write the comment to this video or simply reach me out by the contact listed at the bottom of the description to this video.